and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, the first item on the agenda, well, I guess I got to ask to approve the agenda as presented. So
So moved.
Second.
there's a motion and a second to approve. Any additions, subtractions? Otherwise, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, the first item of business on the agenda is to recognize our city administrator, Michael Johnson, for his 13-plus years of service here with the city of New Prague. And we have a couple things for you. First of all, we got together and we signed a resolution, and that resolution is resolution number 21-08-16-01, recognizing City Administrator Michael J. Johnson. Whereas Michael J. Johnson has faithfully served the City of New Prague as City Administrator for the City of New Prague from July 21st, 2008 to August 20th, 2021. And whereas he has always effectively, conscientiously, and professionally represented the City of New Prague in a distinguished fashion. And whereas his efforts have been largely responsible for the excellent reputation, growth, and overall well-being of the City of New Prague. And whereas all the citizens of the City of New Prague have been the beneficiary of his vision, collaboration, talents, and abilities for the past 13-plus years. Now therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of New Prague that this community and the City Council express and record their esteem and a high appreciation of his character, dedication, and contributions, which have earned him the respect and friendship of all who have had the pleasure of working with him. And be it further resolved that this City Council extends best wishes to Michael J. Johnson for many years of good health and happiness in his retirement. Adopted by the City Council of the City of New Prague on the 16th day of August 2021 and signed by all of us.
Hoorah!
I have another little gift for you. Your very own key to the city of New Prague to City Administrator Michael J. Johnson, City of New Prague, 2008.
Oh, thank you. Won't get me in anywhere though, will it?
I was hoping the name, but it won't. I tried mine.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Tom.
One step closer.
It's the guy in this picture, though.
Yes.
Yeah. You see what this job has done to me?
I just really want to echo the sentiments of the resolution and totally appreciate everything that you've done for the community. I've had a chance to work with you in business and through the city, so a long time. And I think New Prague has been better for your leadership and skills that you've provided to the town. So thank you, Mike.
Well, it's great to have a great group of people sitting by my side here that they've all been part of making all of the good things that have happened over the last 13 years. It's been with them and other city employees that it's not one person that does this. And so we've had a good team. I think we've modernized the city over the last 13 years in a number of different areas, but it's with their help on all the projects and things that we have undertaken that has enabled us to be successful in what we've delivered that way. So without them, we couldn't have done it.
Thank you for your modesty. I know it takes a team, but Mike, you did a lot. You put a lot of effort into being a city administrator, so I certainly appreciate it.
Ditto.
And thank you, Mike.
They do a motion and second on the resolution.
So do we need a motion and a second for that? I would take a motion and a second on that resolution to adopt it.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Sean and, Bruce, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Oh, I'm glad that one passed.
That'd be tough having to give it back to you, wouldn't it?
Oh, another barn already.
Okay, the next order of business is Highway 19 Main Street reconstruction. Chris Cavett.
Well, thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. I realize this is the first time since March of last year that I've been up here before you. So, a couple items for you, action items for you. One is the modification of the existing construction contract as change order 20. The other is approval of the cost participation agreement with LeSueur County. And then I can also give you a kind of an update of where we're at with the project, so. Starting out, first of all, modification of the construction contract, change order number 20, in the amount of $14,171.30. This was actually for the additional traffic control that was required when they closed the intersection of 21 and 19. Back, if you recall, the closure for that overlay was at a 4 a.m. closure. Got it done in a day and got it back opened up, but it wasn't how the contractor was planned with, when we did this with MnDOT back a couple years ago when we planned it. Realized that the best way to do it was to remove the traffic and put it under a detour. And this item is 100% a MnDOT item, so they're covering it because it's part of their, just a maintenance, really maintenance was what they were doing in their west of 21, so. That'll modify the construction contract to $13,154,734.16. So, any questions, I guess, on the change order at this point? The other item is the approval of the cost participation agreement with LeSueur County. So the first roundabout at First Avenue Southeast is actually, the southern leg is a County State Aid Highway 60. And it's included obviously in the project and the scope of the work. And under the cooperative construction agreement with MnDOT, it calls for a 1/4 participation based on their cost participation policy. That that 1/4 leg is paid for by the county, but of course because the city is the lead, we need to get our money from the county rather than MnDOT through MnDOT, et cetera. So, and we'd been working with the county on that, and they had proposed to do it in this simple cost participation policy. Currently, they estimated at $60,255 is construction, $12,045 is engineer or project-related costs. At this time, we can invoice for 90%, and then the balance would be paid once we provide them final cost information. So. I guess I'll let you see again if you got any questions on either of those items. I'll let you take action on those items, and then I can give you an update on the rest of the project. So,
Okay, any questions on the two items presented by the city engineer? Otherwise, I would take a motion to approve change order number 20.
So moved.
second.
Maggie and Rick, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Oops, sorry. And then the second resolution would be accepting the cost participation agreement between us and LeSueur County. Is that correct? Yep. There's no questions on that. I would ask for a motion on that.
So moved.
Second.
Maggie and Rick, any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay,
Okay, well, thank you. Give you an update on the project. Obviously, if you've been tracking some of the project updates, you kind of know where we're at, and obviously see how things are coming along. The city sanitary sewer work and water main work is basically done to the east end of the project. The exception is the they're working on water and sewer services on that last block, and they actually expect to be done with that Wednesday morning. They'll switch to storm sewer, which is really, it's an item watched by MnDOT, and they actually expect their utility crew will be gone early next week. So utility work's done. Really what's left is the sidewalk work. They're focusing on sidewalk work. As you notice, there's still some sidewalk here, even on the south side of this block from First to Central that's not done, but they're working on that as they go, and they're trying to concentrate on getting that out of the way. Initially, they were picking away a couple blocks at a time with paving, and they decided to hold out on a little bit of that and just wrap up the grading work, and they're looking to try to pave everything in one shot. The exception being the Columbus Avenue intersection, because that's a piecemeal job. They have to puzzle piece that one together. So they'll pave from First Avenue up to Columbus, pick up on the other side of Columbus, and they'll pave all the way to the end. And they'll be there, in the meantime, they'll be working on that Columbus Avenue intersection. So Columbus Avenue is actually proposed to be closed. Right now, it's the crossover north-south. It's proposed to close on the 30th, so it's still a couple weeks out. They'll close that. They'll open up the First Avenue for crossover traffic, et cetera. And we'll start to see some soft openings here to the further to the west. There is some sidewalk corrective work that, if you've seen it recently down by Kubish Furniture, there's some stuff that didn't get constructed properly. MnDOT had them pull it out, and they're replacing it. Some of that work has to get corrected, and then they'll open up down to towards Wells Fargo's drive-through, et cetera, and we'll start to see some soft openings as we from the west here in the next couple weeks. So that's probably kind of everything in a nutshell. So I guess any questions or comments you're hearing from others or constituents?
Chris, I would add that we got word on Friday afternoon is that all of the lighting has been installed on the north side of Main Street from the four-way all the way up to the intersection of First Avenue. It was lit and operational as of Friday night. They're working on getting the lights installed on the south side, but the new LED lighting is operational. So if you go into the downtown tonight at dark or another night, is that the new LED lighting is operational through that entire segment.
Wonderful.
Chris, how does the soft opening work as you describe it? So it's not just going across the street, you're actually gonna allow traffic up and down Main Street then?
We're not trying to promote traffic, but it'll be open enough where people can get in and they can pull on the block and park in front of a business and turn around and get out and stuff like that, or turn around, get out on another street. So it won't be full-blown barricades removed, but it'll, a barricade or so just to slow people down and limit some of the traffic. We won't open it from the, through traffic coming, we don't want any highway or semi-traffic coming through like that, but we want to be able to start improving some of the circulation and access in downtown, and mostly in the cross streets and things like that.
And I'm just trying to think when this ends, is there going to be like a grand opening of the street? I mean, will we be letting people trickle in over time and we won't notice it when it actually officially opens?
Well, there'll be an official date when the detour was removed and all barricades are removed and cross traffic. I don't know if we'll call it. I guess we haven't really thought about a grand opening, so to speak. That will likely occur probably in the mid to latter part of October. That is about the time it's scheduled for full opening. But yeah, in terms of a grand opening, there'll still be work next spring that'll take place. Mostly just the planned work will be things like plantings, the landscaping, and then there'll probably be, there'll be walkthroughs and some warranty work that'll have to be inevitably there's some concrete that's cracked or broken, needs to be replaced. So there'll be a little bit of work next spring with some probably lane closures and things like that. But for the most part, it will be, from most people's perspective, it will be done this fall.
So people can start parking wherever they care to in September, early September then?
Where we do soft openings, unless again, there's work to be done, then they might close off some parking lanes just so, contractor can get in wherever that might be. But I can't imagine there'll be much of anything in this westerly part of the project from First Avenue West.
And maybe we're talking about this later, maybe police chief is gonna bring us up to speed, but how is the Dozinki parade and classic car? Okay,
Chris, they're also gonna have to do the painting of the parking stalls, are they not?
Yeah, they've done it, yeah, and they've done it west of, Second Avenue. And so though, it hadn't been decided whether or not they talked about probably trying to paint this first part of the project before Dojinki, just to get it done. It's before they've opened up to soft openings and things like that. So they may end up doing it. The problem is that means multiple mobilization. So it depends on whether their subcontractor wants to come in and do it now, or I'll just do it later this fall. So I don't know what the status of the painting is. It's something we've talked about. But yeah, that'd be parking lanes and then the yellow stripe down the middle and things like that.
But the answers to Bruce's question as far as whether we prepare or try to do something for an opening event, that as you take a look at what's coming here, the end of August into the first part of September, you know, there could be an event that is planned for with trying to determine what that day might be in October, that we could do something to basically celebrate that we're finally done with this construction project and that it's formally gonna get open, whether there is any kind of car parade or the band is down there, or, you know, we have a fire truck or two or something, you know, I don't know what, but the committee, the chamber committee that's been working, and city staff working in conjunction with the project team could attempt to arrive at a date that something could be put together around.
yeah, as Mike said, we would like to be able to let businesses know kind of a soft date, or if, in case they wanna do promotions or whatnot, or try to attract people to it. And your experience with other projects like this, is there such a magical date that people, without getting
Yeah.
run over, can hold a ribbon up and say,
Yeah.
yeah, we did it, or?
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes from the chamber, the council, however, you know, they wanna look at it. And so it's,
Okay,
certainly we can identify, you know, what, you know, a good time when that might be and try to figure out what kind of an event it would be. It's probably something we'd run through the chamber. Would make the most sense.
and then does MinDOT have they create their own special date where they tell Google and everyone that we no longer, or we
Yeah.
allow everyone to come through?
Yeah, yeah.
And that would still be in October sometime?
Yeah, inevitably it should be, yeah. It's, we're talking, the original contract called for it was about I wanna say October 16th, this seemed to be the date, but a mid-October date. They did get some additional days, if you recall some of the rework that was done on this block here, that allowed them or added some days to their contract. I'm not sure that they're even gonna need it, but they inevitably could go somewhere else on another job and milk those days. So it could push it to late October, but I mean, in all reality, I'm guessing by early or mid-October, we should be getting close to done. So we'll definitely know as we get closer when those dates will be. Yes, MnDOT will have an announcement, and certainly we can be planning ahead of time if there's something we wanna do as more of a grand opening or some kind of announcement.
Thank you.
You mentioned warranty, so let's say, how long is that warranted for after it opens?
Yeah, well, so MnDOT does things differently than we do. For example, on our local projects, we require a 2-year
Yeah,
warranty blanket on the whole project. We cannot do that on a MnDOT, for the MnDOT improvements, so we wrote it into the special provisions for the sewer, the water, the city elements. Those have a 2-year warranty on them. MnDOT, once MnDOT accepts it, it's done. So, and it's, until it's, you know, it's not accepted until we get late, you know, it'll be sometime next year after they do a review. But once they accept it, it's done.
okay.
And part of it is really, I mean, the 2-year warranty really comes because of the things you can't see, and that's the underground stuff.
Well, yeah,
And
like
those,
something
yeah.
settles or.
And those things are multiple inspected, they're televised, we also run, like through the sewer lines, they run what they call a mandrel through to make sure that there's no obstructions, things are working, and it's flagged a few things that needed to get checked up on and things like that, but. So there's things that are done to prevent it, but again, underground stuff, you never know what happens over time, that's why you have a 2-year warranty on those.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Ken, you're up.
All right, so I have a change order for repairs to the front of City Hall. This is a follow-up to back on May 17th when the council approved emergency repairs at the front of City Hall here, right off Central. And it was a little under $30,000 for those repairs, including the engineering and the contract we have with Simon Brick to do that work. So since we've had that approval done, we did have the safety concern removed from the front of the building, and we've had that tarp hanging over there. I know it looks wonderful. We're working as quickly as we can to get that taken care of, but in addition to that being done, we also completed all of the test holes into the building, basically to see what we had going on for structural integrity and other concerns we had with the brick on the building. And particularly to the parapet, again, that taller piece that was above the main front entrance. Our engineer from LS Engineers and Simon Brick, and then obviously city staff have been up there to review it, but didn't want to just put back the brick as it was previous because we didn't believe it was going to hold up over time again. So what we have in the packet is kind of the labors from the engineer, put together some sketches based on site visits with staff, and also with Simon Brick and Stone to provide what they called a backup wall, which will actually be cut down into and through the roof of the building down to a roof deck. It's kind of a concrete slab up there. And Matt, you can add anything if you have anything additional to add, but in a nutshell, it'll basically secure that parapet wall better. And that is what the engineer requested that we put on there to handle wind load, to meet the current wind load for building construction. And that totaled about $4,961 for the change in the work amount to get that little backup wall done. And then an additional $3,800 for all the engineering, and this actually will take us through construction and field inspections as needed as well from LS Engineers. So totaling $8,761 for the change order to get that repair completed on the front of the building. Part of the delay too has been getting the stone, the Casota stone ordered and ready for the building. And I don't know, Matt, was there a deadline or a date that they were hoping to have that work completed? I guess I never heard that. Yeah, so end of October yet still, so we're still a ways out, but this at least gets everything continuing forward. We know it doesn't look great out there, but this will put it in a building in a good condition for many years into the future, whether we're here or some other use at City Hall, but it leaves the building in a good shape. So we're looking for your approval of the change order for the amount from Simon Brick and Stone for $4,961, and then the additional $3,800 for LS Engineers. And this again would come out of the City Hall repair fund, where prior to the initial roughly $30,000, we had $92,969 set aside in that fund. So we do have plenty of funds to cover this change order as well.
So this change order is for $8,761?
Yes.
So moved?
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Ken, did you say there was testing done anywhere else besides this location?
Yeah, they did some on where the old doors for the fire engines were right off Central. We did some look at a column there. I think everything, and again, correct me if I got this wrong, Matt, but I think everything looked good over there. The one concern we do have yet is above the Parks garage, with some of the, I don't know the terminology of these, yes. Yep, metal beam is delaminating, I believe, and, yep, so still waiting on that, but, we kinda knew, and that's why we did the test holes, that we knew there would be potentially issues. We actually were more concerned about the front of the building initially, but that turned out to be okay, and now with the Parks garage and the PD area, that, we're still waiting on the final outcome of that, but engineers are busy, so, we're working through that, but we'll get there.
Big part of it, they looked at it at one time and they asked us to do some more removals on it. So that was just done like 2 weeks ago, that we had to do some more removals in front of the parking lot. So it'll take a while for the engineers to get back to us. And what about police? Simon Brick will put it all back together.
Specifically, Mike was just wondering about the area in front of the police with the, columns between the doors. Was there anything particular with that? Okay.
That is one of the areas of concern that they're still looking into. We had to do some more removals on that too a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Okay, the next item is the consent agenda. I would take a motion to approve that.
So moved?
Maggie? Second. And Sean. Is there any discussion on that?
A quick question on the Scott County Drug Prevention Choose Not to Use fundraiser, what that meant.
That's their annual fundraiser they do to, raise their funds for their preventative program. It used to be, their meth prevention program. They expanded it into other drug causes that they also support.
So we received the money and then we're sending it back to them?
That would be money from our crime prevention and things. That's where we've always taken it from.
Oh, it's a donation we're making to
Yeah,
them?
we're making to them as for their fundraiser.
Yeah, I didn't understand the Choose Not to Use fundraiser.
Yeah, it's about their drug prevention.
That's what it's
Oh,
called.
that's the name of the
That's
fundraiser.
choose not to use, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we chose not to use the money that was given to us.
No, that's the name of it.
Okay, the wording,
I was trying to think of it when you were talking about it, you know.
should be a quotation somewhere in there. Or maybe I should just understand it.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, opposed, motion carries. Okay, we're gonna, miscellaneous. Does anybody wanna start with that?
I don't have anything this evening.
I don't either.
Okay, Bruce?
Nope.
I don't either. Matt? Chief?
I just wanted to share about Zinke. We met with Brooke on the third, August 3rd it was. Matt and Josh and I, talked about the logistics of what could happen. We are under the impression that we will have from First Avenue, which will be the crossover at that time, down to Highway 21, utilize for that space. I did submit a permit to the state. Their response to me was, we will take a look at it, and about a week before, we will let you know what you can utilize. That being said, we are planning for that same area to utilize that. In talking with Brooke, I did have some concerns about having the car crews on there because, number one, we don't know what kind of crowd we're gonna have for Friday night or Saturday yet. People that have had their celebrations, they seem to be bigger and better this year, because people are ready to get back to those celebrations. So I'm hesitant on driving the cars down the main street. We came up with a route that we would still stage and do everything up at the high school, bring them down Columbus, take them around 7th Street and 10th Avenue, and then they would continue south on 10th Avenue at the light south like they have on their regular route then, over to Lonsdale, down to Montgomery, and back up is their extended route. Once they come back into town, I'm anticipating that we would just bring them up First Avenue and then they would just dissipate from there. We're not gonna park them on Main Street anyways, they would have to find their own parking. And in the past, it probably ranges from about 60 to 40% that actually come back and park. About that same percent, maybe 60%, don't actually do the full route either. They don't wanna drive in the country for a half hour. They go out, they get out of town, spin around, and then come back in and park and then go down to Main. I did have a concern today about the not going on Main Street. One of the businesses came in and spoke with me, business owner. I just talked about, hey, we don't know what safety is gonna be. That's our concern right now, and by designating the route and getting it out to the public early enough, they're able to plan for that anyways. That if they wanna sit and watch the car cruise, there's ample space along Columbus, 7th, 1st, or 10th Avenue, and then 10th Avenue all the way down to 15th Street. There's a lot of green space and the path right there that even if people do not own property, there's public property that they could be on to watch that. That's the plan right now for the car cruise. The parade, we were gonna set up on First Avenue south of 5th Street for staging area for the parade. And then officially the parade would start at 5th Street, come north on First Avenue to Main Street, and then go down Main, down to 3rd where it would normally go. I am anticipating we're gonna utilize both exits out onto 21 and on 3rd Avenue to dissipate units out. More than likely, I would look at running them up for 3rd Avenue as far as we can. We always have an issue with backup there because they get down there and aren't able to clear out quick enough to keep them moving. But I would, those that have a large groups or walkers or a large group riding, I'd probably send them up 3rd. Single lighter units, I would just direct out to 21 and then they can just out that way. So that's our plan right now.
If for some reason the state comes back and doesn't give us a favorable answer, is there a backup plan as far as maybe where all the food vendors could be? I'm thinking like Memorial Park, like Checkout New Prague was set up, or?
Yeah, we could look at that. I don't anticipate that's gonna be a concern, but my thought is they would probably maybe pick a block or something that we wouldn't be able to utilize.
Okay,
But the idea is, whatever we're gonna be utilizing, it can't be a hazard to any young children or intoxicated people. So that's kind of the idea, that if everything is finished from First Avenue down well enough that it does have the soft opening, there's no safety concerns, then that's what we would be able to
okay, great, thank you.
So the rest of the festivities are gonna be pretty much the same. They're gonna use Central Avenue for a band, then Friday night, and all of Main Street up to First
Yep.
that evening, and then on to Saturday, Main Street, same as other years. Okay.
Yeah, I think the only thing we'll lack would be Central Avenue South. We had 2 food booths there. That won't be available because of the.
Okay. All right, Patricia.
I have nothing.
Ken?
Two things real quick. So first one related to Dojiki in our building, Randy Kubish's building at 104 East Main. So we do have the building permit in hand for that.
I'm sorry, you have what?
We have the building permit in hand for the repairs to the building. Randy has that out for quotes, bids, whatever you wanna call it at this point. He's hoping to have that done, the work done by the Dojiki Friday. If it is not done, we have given him a requirement that he has to install a 6-foot tall chain link fence around basically central out towards the sidewalk adjacent to corner bar. So people can still get through, like if you go there today where the orange shorter fence is, but we want to make sure that's not an attraction for anybody. So it'll either be fixed or he'll have that fence up. And if he doesn't get the fence up, we'll have it blocked off, one way or the other. But I think we're pretty confident he'll either have it up or put the fence up himself. Just like our own engineer for City Hall, his engineer, it's been taking a long time. And then our own engineer, again, to review their engineer's plan is just taking a long time. Everybody's just completely swamped. But we think the plan they've got should work. It's just a matter of can they get the materials and can they get a contractor in here to get it done that quickly. We'll see, but at least we have everything moving forward on that. So hopefully we're in good shape there. Second item real quickly, 2020 census information. Just got this today by pulling through some of the redistricting data that came out on Thursday. I didn't actually see it last week. They didn't have New Prague data available, but the state demographer did include a spreadsheet today that included that New Prague's estimated population for 2020, or not estimated, but actual population, according to them, was 8,162. Now, this is interesting to note because our state estimate in 2019 was 8,248, so it actually went down. Some other cities in the county have also expressed concern with populations being lower than their estimates from what the state had done. I don't have any other information on the number of households or anything. They just gave the population. So I can't backtrack it to number of permits to see exactly where the disconnect might have been there, but we may consider appealing and going through that route, but I don't have any of that information on how we would go about that at this point, but it is lower than I was anticipating based on our estimates. I thought we would be closer to 8,500 for the 2020, just based on our, because every year we very closely monitor with the state demographer estimates and Met Council estimates, what we have for permit activity and people per household and these different formulas, and just a little lower than we were thinking.
Is there a percentage then of people that don't fill out the census?
Yeah.
Let's say like 80 or 40%, you know?
Yep, and I forget the exact number. I'd given you guys that update when they were done with that last year. But no, we had very good participation, but certainly there's always people that don't fill it out. So I don't have any other information, but 8,162 is the official census number at this point, pending any appeal we can make. But
do you know what the percentage increase from 2010 is?
I did not calculate that, but it's a plus 841 people from 2010. I'll do a little more digging. It was literally just in a big spreadsheet for the redistricting data. So I'll be getting more information. I know they will be releasing more data by September 30th on the website, and that's not available yet.
So they capture information from our city limits as of the 2019 then, or
Nope, they go right to April of 2020, April 1 of 2020.
whatever our city limits diagram is at that time?
Yeah, the only annexations we had after that time would have been one annexation south on First Street there, or First Avenue for the Tukalski Estates. That was one home. That isn't, big, and that was vacant at the time actually, so that didn't even get counted in our total. But yeah, I don't know what the reason for it being lower than our estimates was, because in 2010 our number went up above what the estimate expected. Oh, we'll be looking into that more.
Can you give a very brief description what the building improvement would be for Randy's building?
Oh, in a nutshell, if you were to go in the building today, on the second level, there was kind of a dance hall up there, and they have a false ceiling that's kind of brought that down to a more normal, normal 8-foot, 7-foot height, whatever. And above that, they plan to put cable ties from one side of the building to the other with plates. And then there's also some diagonal supports as well that kind of not just hold it from the east and west onto that west wall, but also from the side walls as well. Just kind of hold it. It's not going to bring the wall in. It will just
hold it.
secure it in place. So continue to look as it does, we just won't have the concern of it collapsing at that point.
Cool.
Was there extra fees incurred for that from the public utilities? For that building during the construction, the street construction?
Oh, there's work we haven't been able to do and, yeah, for sure.
There is additional cost related to the utilities that's been estimated, but the contractor's reviewing our estimates and, there'll be a change order for that. It's already been kind of a plan for us, so.
Should that be the taxpayers or should that be the building owner?
If you remember, I think I reported back after reviewing that with the city attorney, and we don't have the abilities to go back against them for what you're gonna see in the change orders coming from Chris on both the sanitary sewer and the water main trench work that we had to encounter by way of having to change our construction standards that we implemented during construction in front of that building. And that would be the same thing if we had encountered other issues with other buildings throughout the construction project. If we'd have chose to have ignored that and the wall fell down because of the proximate cause being determined that it was the construction that caused it, then we'd have had to pay for repairing the building. And so in there, we reviewed that with the city attorney to see if we had any grounds to stand on to try to be able to assess that cost back against the building, and he advised that we do not.
Okay.
But yes, you will see a fairly large number on both of those, and that has and was, and, subject to the confirmation by the contractor. We've tried to project that, and we did that in anticipation in the bonding that we put together, that likely was gonna be coming forward. We just don't have the final verification from the contractor yet.
When do we expect that?
I was pressing him to get that, evaluated this month, so that.
Okay.
I bring back something next month, hopefully.
Okay.
That's all I had.
Thanks. Mike?
I don't have anything in the spirit of keeping things short, other than to wish both the council and the staff, good luck with the transition change and, the new administrator coming in, and, this probably will be the last time I wear a tie in, front of this kind of environment, probably until I have to go to somebody's funeral, so, thank you for that, and, this ends 38 years of going to council meetings and, regular or special or otherwise, and, although I will miss them, I probably won't a whole lot. I may even tune in and watch on TV a little bit, but maybe not. But I wish you the best in the transition, and I've appreciated the opportunity to have been able to work for the city and have thoroughly enjoyed it. We're planning to continue to live here. From everything I know right now, my wife at least hasn't told me otherwise yet. And so we're not going anywhere, and hopefully we'll continue to see people around. I haven't decided whether I'm gonna get my construction hat and a lawn chair and just go down and sit on Main Street and watch a little bit, but I'll have a little bit more time to kinda keep an eye on that, so to speak. But I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's been a pleasure to be able to serve the community, and I wish you the best in the transition as well.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks, Mike.
Congratulations.
Okay, we're gonna adjourn this meeting, and then we are gonna open up a special council meeting, so I would take a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Bruce got ahead.
Oh, okay, didn't hear him.
So there's a motion by Rick, seconded by Bruce, to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay,